I'd like to call this meeting to order, the Leesburg Planning and Zoning Commission. It's Thursday, August 21st, 2025, 4:30. Please stand for the invocation and the pledge. And gentlemen, please take your hats off, plus we're inside anyway.
Let us pray. Dear Lord, we ask that you be with us today as we undertake the business of the city of Leesburg. We pray that the decisions we make will be pleasing in your sight. We pray this in thy most holy name. Amen.
Amen. Now if I don't fall down. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Be seated, please. Let's go ahead and swear everybody in. If you plan on speaking tonight, please stand. You have to be sworn in to speak. So please stand at this time and raise your hand to be sworn in.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. You want to go ahead and do your spiel there, Dano?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to welcome everyone to the August 21, 2025 City of Leesburg Planning Commission meeting. My name is Dan Miller, Planning Director for the City of Leesburg. The staff present today includes Deputy Director Candy Harper, Senior Planner Diane Yeckel, Planner Melissa Metters de los Santos, and City Attorney Jennifer Koch seated to my right. Today's agenda and speakers registry is available on the table by the exit door. If you'd like to speak on a case, we would ask that you would sign the speakers registry and turn it in to Diane, who is seated here on my left. Under the rules of participation, the meeting is conducted under the following process. The chairman will announce each case, and then staff will present exhibits for the record. This is going to include maps, photos, and text, which will be shown on the screens. Staff will then provide the case background and descriptive information, and then read a recommendation into the record. The applicant will have the opportunity to speak on the case. The public will then have time to comment on the case. The applicant will be given an opportunity to respond. The chairman will close the case to the public. The commission will discuss the case. The commission will then take a vote on the case and then call for the next case on the agenda. The Planning Commission is made of citizens appointed by the City Commission and is charged with two primary functions. One is to make final decisions on cases such as variances and conditional uses. The other is to make recommendations for issues which are to be heard by the City Commission. The city staff provides recommendations to the Planning Commission based on the city's comprehensive plan, the city's land development regulations, and the state of Florida statutes. There are three cases on the agenda today. All three cases on today's agenda will receive recommendations by the Planning Commission, and those recommendations will then be forwarded to the City Commission for final decisions. If you look on your agenda, you will see the tentative dates listed in bold for the City Commission dates for these projects. Those dates are subject to be changed, so please check with Planning and Zoning staff or the City Clerk's office regarding final hearing dates. We're pretty accurate with those, but sometimes they do get changed. Finally, on behalf of the City of Leesburg Planning and Zoning staff and the Planning Commission of the City of Leesburg, I'd like to thank you for your participation in today's public hearing process. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Before we get started, we did this once before when we had a big crowd. If you're willing to give up your spot and have one representative, we'll give that representative more time. Each speaker gets 3 minutes. If you start repeating yourself or repeating somebody that's already been up, I will stop you. But I want to give you that opportunity. If there's somebody that you want to do it for you, I'll give you, depends on how many there are, I'll give you 15 minutes instead of 3. So is that something you guys want to do or not?
We didn't have time to prepare, in all honesty.
Okay, so
We had 2 days' notice for this.
Exactly, 2 days. Don't keep up.
You got 2 days' notice from whom?
From the developers.
Okay, well, the city sends out
City
notices
sent its notice out on
if
time.
you have standing, if you're within a certain amount
No
of space.
recrimination toward the commission.
Okay. Okay, so we'll go from scratch. Does everybody turn in one of these that want to speak? Because if I don't have it, you're not going to speak.
Gotta fill it out.
Please hurry. Okay, we will get started. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr.
Oh,
Chairman.
yeah, I got to introduce them.
Oh.
Sorry. New business, public hearing case number SSCP. Oh, yeah, okay, I'll go back to it. SSCP 25640, Royal Highlands Small Scale Comprehensive Plan Amendment.
Mr. Chairman, did you also wish to introduce the second case as these go together
Yes.
with the rezoning?
Yeah. Because these are related, a lot of the material is repetitive, so we're going to do both cases at the same time, and then we vote on them separately. Public hearing case number SPUD 25642, Royal Highlands Small Plan Unit Development. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. By way of background, this project includes an annexation, large-scale comp plan, and rezoning on a site consisting of 7.53 plus or minus undeveloped acres. The property is generally located on the west side of US Highway 27, south of Royal Highlands Boulevard and south of the Florida Turnpike. The request is for a comprehensive plan and zoning for a future development consisting of 48 attached single-family residential units and the associated amenities. When we say single-family attached, when we say attached single-family units, what we're talking about is townhouses. Under the overall proposal, again, the total area of land is approximately 7.5 acres, 7.53, I believe. As you are aware, this commission is aware, annexation requests go directly to City Commission. They meet up with this comprehensive plan and zoning request at that time. So the comprehensive plan application for the project is requesting a future land use amendment from Lake County urban to low density in the city of Leesburg. And under the zoning application for the project, it's requesting a change from Lake County planned unit development to city of Leesburg small planned unit development. Deputy Director Candy Harper will present the maps at this time. And the photo exhibits, which include aerial zoning, future land use, surrounding land use, wetlands, flood zone maps, and CRA maps.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. On the screen before you is an extended aerial. It is locating the site to the west of US 27 and south of the Turnpike. The next picture is a little bit closer up so you can see the size of the site and a little more detail of the land around it. This is the future land use, showing the future land use in the city of Leesburg, which is just to the north and east of this site, and it is neighborhood mixed use. Lake County future land use is urban low density, and there's a little bit of regional office from the county as well. The proposed future land use is low-density residential. The surrounding land uses include to the north and east, hotel, motel, wetland, and timber. To the south, timber. To the west, single-family residential, and to the north, single-family residential. You can see that the site is surrounded by flood zones, but is not in a flood zone. There is a wetland on site that will have to be mitigated to some extent. This shows a detail just south of Commerce Drive. I think you need to go back one, Melissa. Back one more. Okay, maybe not. Keep going. So the county is divided up into interlocal service boundary areas, and this map simply shows Groveland and Leesburg. Leesburg is in the yellow. Groveland is in that pink color. So that shows where The cities are permitted to annex properties discontiguously. And this map is meant to show the developments that are already in place. And this one indicates Blue Cedar to the north and on the east side of US 27. The zoning of that property is planned unit development. And Lake County zoning is also planned unit development and C1 with a little bit of agriculture to the north. The proposed zoning is small planned unit development. It is not in a community redevelopment area. The commission district it is related to is District 3. The picture on the top is showing a sign of the rezoning that we posted. And that's just a close-up of it. The picture on the bottom is looking northwest along US Highway 27 from the subject property. The picture on the top is looking northeast across US 27 from the subject property, and the picture on the bottom is looking southeast along US 27 from the subject property. And the final picture is looking southwest onto the subject property from US Highway 27. And I believe that's all I have, Mr. Miller.
Thank you, Ms. Harper. With that, we move on to the departmental review summary. The project is sent out to all city departments plus the Lake County government and the Lake County School Board for their comments. Under the city department responses, there were no substantive comments from the city departments. The project is outside the city of Leesburg electric service area. When there are no substantive comments from the departments, that means that the departments are saying they have sufficient capacity to serve a development in the form of water, wastewater, natural gas, et cetera. So capacity and availability do exist in the systems. From the school board, the comments came back. They noted that if the project proceeds as a 55-plus community, it will not be subject to school concurrency review. And I do need to note here that if the project ends up as being a non-55-plus project, then it will be subject to school concurrency review. And a school concurrency review is a review by the school board staff to see if adequate student stations are present. If they are not, then the developers are required to go into a mitigation agreement with the school board, and it also has to be approved by the city. Just for information on the 55 plus, Mr. Chairman, cities are not allowed to require a community to be either age restricted or non-age restricted. We can't do that. That's a market decision, and cities cannot place that as a condition of zoning. I just want to bring that to the front. For Lake County Public Works, they had no comments as well. For the record, we do like to note that staff is continuously communicating with Lake County and FDOT on various projects. So if a proposal is approved, all the requirements of the appropriate agency, whether that's Lake County or FDOT, St. John's, whomever, and particularly because it would be FDOT, it'd be in regard to turn lanes, intersection or lane improvements, additional right-of-way for roads, drainage, et cetera. All those would apply if a project is approved. Leesburg's plan unit development documents are written to support Lake County and the state agencies where appropriate in the matter of these requests. Under public responses, per Florida statute and City of Leesburg code requirements, the project was legally advertised and posted. Letters were sent out to the surrounding property owners within 200 feet. As you can see, the city received a significant number of responses. Staff has added all of these responses that came in within the last, even up to, I think it was Monday, before we had to make our packets. So we've added all of them that we can possibly get in there into the packets for review by the commission. We wanted you to see everything that has been sent to us. A brief summary of those responses, and this is a brief summary, I can't get to, get in depth on everything. But the concerns were traffic, project density, property values, security for the neighboring residents, compatibility with neighboring single-family homes, wildlife and environmental, crime, inconsistency with the city's comp plan, concerns regarding infrastructure capacity such as water and wastewater, and many others. But those were the ones that kept coming up, and we try to get all of those brought to the forefront. And again, they are all in your packet. I think there's about 80 pages in there for that.
And I read them all.
Under the PUD requirements, now this is as the PUD is written right now, and if it's approved all the way through City Commission, and Planning Commission and City Commission didn't make any changes. There'd be a total of 48 single-family attached units. Again, those are townhouses. So, and I want to clarify, a townhouse is where you purchase the constructed unit and the land beneath the unit. A condominium or apartment, you're either buying or renting the space inside. So there is a difference there. There are no commercial uses permitted under this proposal, and we're going to be talking about that some more in a moment. There would be each unit at minimum of 20 feet wide and a minimum living area per unit of 1,100 square feet. 2 floors would be the maximum height. Minimum of 2 off-street parking spaces for each unit. The proposal includes design and architectural standards as shown in the PUD wording and exhibits in the PUD, along with a minimum of 35% of the property must be an open space. Dark sky lighting is required. And for the benefit of the audience, when we're talking about dark sky lighting, that means the lighting has to be pointed in a direction so it is not shining away on someone else's property. Trees are required between each driveway of each unit. A 25-foot landscape buffer around the property is required except where it's not needed due to existing wetland areas. There's a fence along the perimeter except where there's wetlands present. Sidewalks are required throughout the development. There is no St. Augustine grass allowed because it uses a lot of water. The city does allow Bahia or Bermuda. There is additional parking provided within the development, which you should be able to see on your site plan. For site access, the access is as shown on the site plan. Because US 27 is under FDOT, Florida Department of Transportation Authority, the developer will be required, as I stated earlier, to provide any and all expansions and or upgrades to any entryways and roadways as requested by FDOT. They are aware of that. There is also a right-in, right-out access point, which is provided on the plan as a second access, which will allow regular traffic flow in and out if you're going right, and allow emergency access point for police, fire, ambulance services. If there's any signage for the development requested, it would come under the standard City of Leesburg code requirements. I'd like to point out that there is no interconnectivity into the adjacent subdivision. Normally, in a situation where you have a new subdivision come along, you want them to interconnect. In this case, there's no need for that, to interconnect directly into the subdivision. For recreation, they have requirements that consist of providing at least 18,000 square feet of active and passive recreation spaces. That would include items such as a pavilion, dog park, outdoor cooking facilities, a tot lot, or similar items such as that. That's gone over during a site plan review process. Under utilities, all development will have to be on city water and wastewater, so there's no wells, no septics on the property. Our utility services have indicated through the review process that there is sufficient capacity. I have no control over that, but that's what has been indicated. And sufficient capacity in all these services to serve the development. There is also a phasing or expiration clause in the PUD. It's the standard one we put in all of our zonings, which requires that the development move forward with substantial commencement within 4 years. That's 48 months. Or if that does not occur, the property has an automatic reversion to the RE1 zoning standards. The zoning doesn't change. They are now still under the PUD or SPUD, whatever they're under, but they reverse to RE1 zoning standards. RE1 zoning standards means you have to have 1 acre to put down one house. It's not 1 unit per acre, it's 1 acre per unit, which is a big difference when you flip those words. So, a moment ago I mentioned that we'd be coming back to the commercial development possibilities on this property. Staff wanted to point out that the property, as I stated earlier, is currently zoned PUD under the Lake County Ordinance 2005-45. This ordinance allowed for a mixed-use development, including, and this is the Royal Highlands zoning ordinance, 1,500 single-family residential units. Now, to the best of my knowledge, those are all built out. I don't know if there's any more lots in there, but I believe they're all built out.
That's correct.
Thank you. Now here's the concern. That PUD zoning in Lake County, as we sit here today, also allows on this specific site the following: a commercial area consisting of 49,500 square feet of commercial development, including, and I want to list these out, offices such as travel, real estate, financial, and insurance, ice cream shops, drugstores, sit-down restaurants up to 5,000 square feet. That's nice if you can get a Carrabba's or something, but that's, you know, that's a possibility. Florist, bakeries, bagel shop, food market, gift card shop, dry cleaners, mailbox, pack and ship store, bank, beauty salon, clothing store, coffee shop, delicatessen, computer store, hobby, quilting shop, sports bar, takeout and food delivery, video rentals, and specialty doctor's office. So I think there's been some misinformation that has gone around because I don't know that anyone ever saw this who is pro or not, for or against this. But we have this information. I wanted to be fair about that and bring it to light. What this case does is brings to light the fact that the property is zoned for commercial uses in Lake County right now. And what we have today are proposals for an annexation, comp plan, and zoning, which would change what would be permitted from commercial uses on this property to residential uses. Changing the permitted uses from just under 50,000 square feet of commercial uses to 48 townhomes would significantly lower the amount of traffic coming in and out of this area. The issue, as staff sees it, is that over time, the property, Lake County, has become more and more valuable for development. As Orlando and the surrounding counties and cities expand, the development of prime properties does occur. Staff does understand that these are not easy decisions, but we want to bring out all the facts to everyone here, and here. We want to bring out all these facts because we need to be aware of what can happen now versus what is proposed here so that you get the most and best information possible. The larger concern that staff has in this particular case is that there appear to be 2 options. One is if the property stays in Lake County, and that decision is not made today. Again, this is a recommendation. If the property stays in Lake County, it can go by right under the current zoning to commercial development. 49,500, so essentially 50,000 square feet of commercial. If it comes into the city, it will have a significantly lower traffic impact, among other things, as townhomes. So it's a tough decision, and I want to be sure that everyone has the correct information and is making their decisions based on the facts. So I would like to go ahead and read the city's staff's recommendation. Again, these are made based on consistency with the comp plan and the zoning regulations and state statute. So for the request for the small-scale comprehensive plan amendment from Lake County urban low to city low density, this is case number SSCP 25-640. Planning and Zoning Department is recommending approval of the request for the following reasons. 1, the project meets the requirements of Chapter 163.3187 Florida statutes for small-scale comprehensive plan amendments. 2, the proposed request for small-scale comprehensive plan amendment to low-density residential is compatible with the adjacent future land use designations of Lake County Urban Low Density, Regional Office, and City of Leesburg Neighborhood Mixed Use. 3, the proposed request for a small plan unit development zoning is compatible with the current surrounding zoning districts of Lake County PUD, C1 Neighborhood Commercial, and City of Leesburg PUD. 4, the proposed future land use designation for the site is consistent with the city's growth management plan, future land use element, Goal 1, Objective 1.6. The action requested is vote to approve staff's recommendation to change the future land use of the subject property from Lake County Urban Low Density to City of Leesburg Low Density Residential and forward this recommendation to the City Commission for their consideration. The second recommendation for the request from zoning from Lake County PUD to City of Leesburg SPUD, Small Plan Unit Development, case number SPUD 25642. Planning and Zoning Department is recommending approval of the request for the following reasons. 1, the proposed request for an SPUD, Small Plan Unit Development, is compatible with the current surrounding zoning districts of Lake County PUD, C1, which is Neighborhood Commercial, and City of Leesburg PUD. 2, the proposed future land use designation of City of Leesburg low-density residential is compatible with adjacent properties having future land use designations of Lake County Urban Low Density, Regional Office, and City of Leesburg Neighborhood Mixed Use. 3, the proposed zoning designation for the site is consistent with the city's growth management plan, future land use element, Goal 1, Objective 1.6. I'd like to point out on that recommendation being consistent with future land use element Goal 1, Objective 1.6, that is a representative sample of the goals, objectives, and policies. It does not include every single one because we would have a list of what it's consistent with that would be a mile long. So it is a representative of that. The action requested is vote to approve the proposed rezoning from Lake County PUD Plan Unit Development to City of Leesburg SPUD Small Plan Unit Development and forward this recommendation to the City Commission for their consideration. So therefore, Mr. Chairman, based on a review of the proposal and the fact that it is consistent with the city's comprehensive plan, land development and regulations, staff is recommending approval for these cases. Mr. Tom Daly and Mr. Bill Mackey of Daly Design Group and others are here to represent the case and answer any questions you may have. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Before they come up, just to let you know, the staff will give their part like they just did. Then the applicant will come up, and then after that, y'all have a chance. And then the last thing is the applicant can come back up and either have a rebuttal or answer questions that you may bring up when you're up here. And that's pretty much how it goes. I also want to remind you that whether we vote yes or no on this, it still goes to the City Commission. So make sure you get those dates, which are September 8th and October 13th. So either way, you need to go to those if you're against it, you know. So anyway, just wanted to bring that up. Yes, I was going to, yeah, go ahead and read that. Thank you. I was just thinking I need to get her.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. If the applicant would state their name. Hello? Applicant?
Yes.
Before,
I
wait,
was-
one more second. Is everybody warm? I see people waving themselves. Can we get the air conditioner cut down a little bit? Or turn the temperature down?
Call the fire marshal and half y'all have to leave.
Yeah, I saw several people doing that, so I know it's like.
Yes. Good evening. My name is Tom Daly. I'm with Daly Design Group.
Your address too, please.
We're at 913 North Pennsylvania Avenue in Winter Park. We're landscape architects and urban planners, and we're here on behalf of the property owner, GPK.
And please turn your phones off.
As Dan said, I've got a quick PowerPoint. I know we've got a lot of folks coming in, but we're requesting to annex the 7.3 acres into the city. It's within the city ISBA, and we're going to be using city utilities as part of this. We're amending the future land use as part of an annexation, and then we're amending the zoning from the commercial to the SPUD which specifies the limits of only the 48 townhomes on the site. Just to give you a picture, that all that white back in there, that is all Royal Highlands. Our site is just a little bit south of the main entrance. It fronts on US 27. That blue dashed line is the ISBA line for the city and the city of Groveland, between Leesburg and Groveland. I'm going to give you a brief history on it because this has been a project that's been in the works since 1994, 31 years ago. The original master plan for this thing was part of a development of regional impact, which encumbered all of Royal Highlands homes, the whole project, 1,500 single-family units, and all the entitlements that go with that. The master plan itself was amended back in 2005, and as part of that, there's some softball fields up by the entrance that are community softball. That land was deeded by the master developer to the homeowners association. And at the same time, that's when the commercial became on this particular property we're talking about. There was an access easement agreement recorded in 2009, which gave this property access to the Monarch Boulevard, which is the main entrance to Royal Highlands. And then there's a road called Royal Commerce Drive, and that agreement provided for that access. It also provided for shared stormwater utilities. It's a fairly comprehensive thing, but it was part of the master developer working with the then HOA and granting easements and sharing rights and responsibilities. Then they, in 2009 also, there was a piece of property that was adjacent to the softball fields that the master developer deeded for a pickleball court up in that front area. The site was purchased by my client, GPK, in 2023. This is the original master plan. All the area within Royal Highland Homes, or Royal Highland. The red is up there at the end where the softball fields are today and where the main entrance is. That was originally approved for commercial development. The site that we're working on was originally approved for residential development. After the 2005 amendment to the overall PUD, that's where the softball fields became ownership of the HOA, and the commercial land was actually shifted south into this vacant piece of property, which is the 7.3 acres we're here to talk about tonight. So the current entitlements on it, like I think Dan Miller said, was we have 1,500 single-family homes, 300 recreational vehicles, and 49,500 square feet of retail commercial. And so everything, the 1,500 has been built. I believe that they have the RV storage, which I don't know if it has 300 vehicles in it. And then the commercial remains intact. This is the site. And it is 7.3 acres. It has an existing retention pond on it. That retention pond has some easements granted to the homeowners association as part of that 2009 agreement that we talked about. You can kind of see like a line that runs kind of zigzag along there. That is like a tree line. That is a berm that was installed by the master developer. I don't know when, but that was to screen the residential properties that have been built from 27 and any other activities that would go onto this property. But this is the whole site that Mr. Toby Sims and GPK purchased a couple years ago. So it has a lot of frontage on 27. One of the provisions in the PUD documents restricts direct access to Highway 27. And that started back with the 2005 amendment, and that has never been changed. We looked at what you could do with a commercial site. This is an example of I'll call it a strip center. We all know what that is, where it's a single building with rows of various uses, and so the uses that Dan had talked about. in order to develop this in this fashion, and really, if you want to do it in what they call out parcels, you'd have a similar situation: parking, trucks, turnaround. We would be required to remove that berm, excuse me, and expand the retention ponds, because the amount of pavement that goes into a commercial development is much greater than the amount of pavement that goes into a single-family development. So this was just kind of like, one of the earlier studies that was done about, can we put this commercial on here and what would it look like? So that's 49,500 square feet facing the road with the back towards the residents, like every other shopping center that we would see. This is our plan. What we are proposing is to leave the berm, the landscape berm that was installed originally to shield the residents from 27. We are going to leave the existing retention pond, which has home sites fronting on it right now. And it's essentially just a one-road, small road cul-de-sac with 6 buildings. And these 6 buildings all have garages. They all a variation between 1 and 2 car garage. And so there's also some existing trees that we went out and had an arborist evaluate. The big green circles down there in the lower portion, those are trees that were deemed to be healthy and happy, live oaks. And so this plan contemplates saving those trees. So we went out there, we evaluated. There were some dead trees on the site. Mr. Spill and his group, they mowed it, everything, cleaned it all up, had the arborists go out there, trim trees, remove dead and dying trees. But essentially, we're at 48 homes. And, the minimum width is 20 feet wide, which is kind of common for that style of development. Maximum 2-story. There's not going to be multi-story buildings as part of this. And the parking would be both in the garage and in the driveways, and then visitor parking kind of spread out between the buildings themselves. This is conceptual, but it is something that, there's not too many ways to slice this pie, so this is pretty much where we're going with it. It also has a recreation area on our side of the berm that has, we're contemplating pickleball court, dog park, pavilion, like that. The land on the other side of the berm, which is directly adjacent to the Royal Highland community, we're proposing is simply open space. It's not worth trying to go around a berm and do all that, but it's property that we own, and so we're proposing to have that simply as open space as part of this, but not activated open space, not picnic tables or anything that we would want to encourage the residents that would live here to be utilizing. So there'll be no improvements on it except the grass that's growing right now. So this is an architectural elevation of what we're proposing. This is not your typical product where a national home builder has 3 or 4 different types of townhomes. They went ahead and hired a pretty prestigious architecture firm in Orlando to come in and do custom design for this. And so you can see it's all the standing seam roofs, which will last 50 years, not last 15, like our houses. But you can see there's a mixture of 1-car garage and 2-car garage. We had a community meeting. We met with the HOA board when we first were contemplating this, and this was back in March. We since made applications, worked with your staff on fine-tuning the PUD. We met again with the board a couple weeks ago to circle back because it had been a couple months, and then on Tuesday we had a community meeting for all of the residents of Royal Highlands. About 350 people attended that meeting. They got a big, beautiful banquet hall. I don't know if you've ever been behind the gate, but it's nice. And so we had about 350 people. We gave a very similar presentation as what we gave tonight. And we stayed for about an hour afterwards answering questions. We had microphones for people to answer. I'm glad all 350 didn't show up tonight, or we'd be at Venetian Bay. But I think, certainly there's folks here that showed up here tonight that have concerns. But we were, a lot of the folks that we talked to came up afterwards, said, thank you. Now I understand what you're proposing, and I'm not really objecting to it. I'm not putting words in people's minds, but, well, it's... Obviously, it wasn't them that came up and talked to me. I'm just saying that this is I would say a portion of the folks that showed up at the community meeting didn't see this is objectionable. Again, we're downzoning the property. 49,500 square feet of retail commercial. Dan gave this whole big list of all the things that could go in there, and folks that live in areas next to commercial, you can't pick what commercial you're going to get. You can't say, I really want a Domino's pizza. The market tells you what you're going to get. And so in this particular location, fronting on 27, as you know, all the things that are happening at the interchange and all the things that are happening, in the city of Groveland, it has a lot of value. Our client decided that they would prefer not to do that in this location, and that they would prefer to develop something like this. And so with that, we appreciate staff support. We look for your support also. And of course, I'm here to answer any questions you may have, and then I would like the opportunity to come back and respond to some of the comments that we get from the audience.
Thank you. Does the Commission have any questions of the applicant? Okay. Anybody else?
No, I think you covered the bases pretty good there. The berm and the landscaping berm, I think it's very well placed. I don't know how long it'll take to mature or how high the trees are.
It was put in long enough that it is mature. There are big trees on it. I mean,
That was done prior.
yeah, it's fully vegetated. Needs a little TLC, but
Any others? Thank you very much.
thank you.
Okay, I've got all these sheets. I'm gonna call your name out one at a time. You get 3 minutes each. Remember, please don't repeat what your neighbor just got through saying, because I will cut you off. We don't want to spend an hour listening to the same thing over and over and over again. I understand your concerns, and I want to hear all your concerns. I just don't want to hear the same one over and over again. Okay, thanks. And if I can't read your name or if I mispronounce it, I apologize. And I think the first one's Jim Dwayne, maybe? Or Donnie? Thank you. Please state your name and give your address, please.
My name's Jim Dwayne. I live in Royal Highlands at 720 Prince Place. My question to Commission is, it says you're going to change it to low density. I don't see how 48 townhomes on basically, you're talking 5 acres of buildable area is low density. According to all the descriptions I have, that doesn't meet that requirement. Can you explain that to me?
In the city of Leesburg, there are several different future land use categories. One's called estate, that's 4 units an acre or less. The next step up is called low density, that's 8 units per acre or less. And then medium's 12 and high density is 18. So anything 8 units or less is called low density. And every city can have different definitions on that. I believe Lake County's is the same as ours when it comes to low density.
Thank you.
Is that it? Thank you.
Could Dan explain, because like the concept of it's not like one whole acre of land and then one house in the middle. Can you give that definition, like explain that again? Because I think that's
Units per acre versus acres per unit. You just flip words around and the definition changes, and that's why you have to be so careful about the wording. 3 units per acre could be, and I really need some drawings here, 3 units per acre, let's say, could be 1 acre, 3 houses split up in 1/3 acre lots each. Or it could also be 3 houses in one corner of that acre. You're still dividing it on a gross basis. What's the total? 3 acres per unit, swapping that means you start with 3 acres and then you can put 1 unit down. It helps to have drawings, but it's a good question. 1 acre per unit means you would have to create 1 acre, a lot, and record that at the county. Then you could put 1 house on it. But and switching the words again, 1 unit per acre, you could have 100 acres and 100 units and put all 100 units on a small corner of that 100 acres. So it's very, you have to be paying real close attention when people are talking about units per acre, acres per unit, because it's very easy to transpose that, not only in understanding it, but in calculating it. So as an example, Royal Highlands has about, I want to say 1,090 to 1,100 acres right in there. A large part of that is wetlands. If you calculate that on gross density, you're at about, I think, 1.5 units per acre. But if you reverse those calculations, or if you take the wetlands out, there's 100 ways to do density. So you want to be careful. The city of Leesburg uses a gross measurement on everything, because otherwise we go from project to project and everyone is confused as far as how density is calculated. So, but that was a good question.
Yeah, good question.
Both.
All right, let's move along. We got quite a bit here. Debbie Dwayne. I could read your last name.
Hi, my name's Debbie Dwayne, and I live at 20720 Prince Rainier Place, Royal Highlands. I'm really kind of confused about Public Works, because I know that on days I cannot wash my clothes on the day my precinct waters their grass, so I have no water pressure. And I know I've called the city of Leesburg and talked about this. I didn't get an answer back, but I know a lot of my neighbors have the same problem. So if, when they put in, if they're allowed, the 48 townhomes, and there is problems with water and sewer, is the city of Leesburg going to come out and upgrade us?
I can get you in touch with the Public Works Department. I do not know the answer to that, because I'm not familiar with the problem other than what you've just said. I have not heard of that before.
You're telling me I have to
would-
call the city of Public Works? That should have been, I mean, I'm assuming that was already worked out, putting, 48 townhomes. Somebody ought to know the answer to that question already. How's that going to tax our subdivision?
The city has responded to our requests that there is sufficient capacity in the water system. If you would like to call the Public Works Department and let them know you have a water pressure problem, that's fine. That's
I've
not
done that.
anything we can do today. It's nothing I'm not responsible for water pressure.
Okay, so, but
This
if,
office is not responsible for that.
so if there is a problem, though, is that a
You go to
question I
Public
need to
Works.
ask the Public Works?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and I've been to all the growth meetings, I've attended all the growth meetings by the Lake County Commissioner's Office, and, there is a real problem. The cities and the county will need $700 million to build new roads in the next 10 years, which is $70 million at the taxpayers. So to say that we're not going to have a road problem, we do have a road problem. There was a bad accident just in front of our subdivision where almost 2 people died. So there is a traffic problem.
Thank you. Bessie Felton? Did I say that right?
Betty.
I'm sorry. Does that look like a T to you? Looks like a Z. That wasn't my fault.
I'm sorry, I thought I heard you, but I wasn't sure.
That's okay.
My name is Betty Felton. I live at 21116 Lady Marion Way. Not by her, but I can tell you, as far as the water is concerned, I did call the water department. They transferred me to a gentleman who said he was a director because I have so much iron in my water. When I have a whole water filter on my home, and when I change the filters about every 2 months, they are absolutely rust-colored. And there's only me living there. So it's not that there's a lot of water going through. I actually wanted to speak to you because I'm concerned about the traffic. The number of homes that have been put in the short period of time that actually aren't even up and running. We are experiencing huge delays on 27, getting on and off the turnpike, backups, and it hasn't even begun yet because these houses are not developed, people are not living in them. I mean, the traffic is atrocious, and we have so many more accidents than we ever have had. I am more cognizant of that because my husband was a police officer, and I see them, and they're serious. And I think they're going to have to widen 27, and I don't think these take into account how they're going to widen 27. So I would encourage you to take a look at the traffic pattern, how you're going to expand. 27 is going to have to be expanded quickly. The infrastructure just simply isn't there for all of those homes. Thank you.
And I will make sure that I'll make sure the utility folks get the utility folks. I'll make sure they get word about the rust and the water pressure.
Thank you.
Either way, whether it's approved or not approved, I'll make sure they hear it.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. See if I get this name right. Cecilia White. I got one right.
Yes, thank you. I'm Cecilia White. I live at 4730 St. Andrew's Arc in Royal Highlands. It's a beautiful community, and what I'm going to talk to has more to do with love of home. And many people chose our community because of the beauty of it and just because of the feel. And I'm one of those people. I don't want to be anyplace else. I've seen every development, 55-plus development from Ocala to Kissimmee, and I still would choose Royal Highlands. So I have a very vested interest, not only in the money I paid for my home, which was almost nothing because it was 2012, but also just because I love the community. I see this as detrimental in many ways. One has to do with the water supply. I, too, have experienced similar things to what other folks have said, but also the fact that these units, if they're permitted, okay, will not be single-family residences as we know them in our community where people live and stay there pretty much year-round. 70% of our residents are there year-round. These are going to be rentals. I don't know if anyone brought that up, but these are going to be rentals. And you and I both know that this close to Disney and all the other things in Orlando, those can become very short-term rentals with a revolving door of different people coming in every other week, things like that. That's a real concern to me, okay, from many perspectives. I just would hope that this commission would consider the people part of this and not just all the specifications. I'll admit that I don't understand that your staff person mentioned, but I just hope that you'll consider some of that as well. That's about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Tony,
CNC.
I'm not even going to try.
You're not even going to try on that one.
It's a long Italian name.
Tony Cianciato. I live at 5443 Queen Victoria in Royal Highland. I'm just going to go over a few points.
Thank you.
We had a meeting last night with the community that the developer presented to us. That's the first time we've heard about it in 2 years. But also, when I look online, they've been advertising it as their development, as a project that they're doing right now. If we do a commercial, it's very similar to what you have at Plantation with Celebration. We're a Celebration strip mall. The people have to exit onto the Plantation exit road, which they do have accidents, but it's feasible. If we go with this and the school, they'll have children and the school buses, how are the school buses going to come in, drop off, pick up, and how they're going to turn around? I don't see that even possible there. And originally these were for sale, and then it was presented last night that they're going to be rental units with a minimum of 1 year lease. How they're going to actually do a separation between the properties, I don't see how that's going to work. And the traffic is really going to be a problem because people getting out of this proposed development, if they're going north, they're going to have to go on to Monarch Road to the light to make a left. That's the only egress that we have at Royal Highlands to come in and out. Otherwise, they can go out of Commerce Boulevard, make a right, go down the road, make a U-turn, and then go back. More accidents. And the visual block between these units and the residents who live there behind it, I don't see how they're going to do that. And, you know, if it's a commercial, they're going to be businesses that would support the community, not provide detrimental living. Anyway, I thank you.
Thank you.
It's really off the hay. Thank you.
Sorry I didn't get your name.
Still got 2 minutes and 59 seconds.
I sometimes forget to hit the button.
Can I have that 3 minutes?
Sure. I'm easy. Michael Admiral?
Yeah.
Admiral?
Hi, my name is Michael Amaral. I live at 20740 Prince Rainier Place in Royal Island. And a lot of my concern has already been addressed by other people, so I don't have much to say. So my understanding is that there will be only one exit from this development. There's not a second exit.
Just one from the
Only one
site
exit
plan.
going on the Commerce Drive. Okay, all right. The only thing I have to say is to reinforce the idea that Royal Island is a retirement community where the fact of having peace and quiet and peaceful surrounding is important. And here we're going to have something that is not going to be quiet and peaceful because it is not. Number one, it is not for sales, for family to stay there long term, but rental, and it's been said before. And the other problem is that, no, I lost my train of thought.
Happens to me all the time.
Yeah, the other problem is that and the other problem is that it is not limited to 55 and above like our community. So we're going to have people with, young people, teenagers, goodness knows what. As was mentioned before with rental, it could go rapidly to fast rate rentals and a crowd that may be disturbing in many ways to the character of the existing community, and that's my main problem. We have a bunch of elderly people, some of them very elderly and not driving very well, and we're going to, as I said, increase traffic, and we already have accidents, and people do crazy things. I mean, this is presented now is out of character. It does not synchronize with the rest of your community. That is the problem. The townhouse may be looking nice, but they don't synchronize with the architecture of the surrounding community, nor the lifestyle of the community. So, I have only 30 seconds. So we have a lifestyle discrepancy between this and what we have, and we have also a architectural discrepancy between the two. Well, that's it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay. Terry Van Winkle.
I'll speak from here if it's okay, because I'll kill somebody.
No, we need to get you on tape. Yep, sorry. Everything goes on tape and video.
Can't deny it later.
Yeah.
I'm plenty loud. I don't need a mic.
State your name and your address, please.
Terry Van Winkle. I live at 5340 Sir Churchill Drive, been at Leesburg, Royal Highlands over the last 15 years. My wife's 25 years, so we got a little experience with what's going on, and I can understand your concerns. So I've only got two things I want to bring up. But one of them, I hope that somebody in the commission has talked with the DOT regularly. You've got expanded 27 north. We do not have it south, and especially in front of us. This is going to be constructed right on 27. So they're not going to be able to expand to the west. It'll all have to go to the east. And I hope that the DOT and the commission thinks about that for our future, because we do need wider roads. The other thing is the retention pond and the berm everybody wants to talk about. They're going to be on the east side of the berm. On our side of it, you see the houses that are all around that retention pond. You've got 49,000 square feet, and a good chunk of it's going to be cement. You're going to have roofs. You're going to have driveways, all draining. That retention pond, I don't believe is going to be able to handle it. They say it does, but I don't believe it. The other thing, they've requested that we maintain that pond. They own the pond. We should not be liable for it. Any repairs that need to be done to that, any extensions to that to handle everything should be their responsibility. We do not want the liability of maintaining that pond on one side of the berm or the other, doesn't matter. It is their property. And I just want that to be considered in your agreements. That's all.
Thank you.
I got a question for you,
Yes, sir.
You're not bourbon business, are you?
I'm not what?
In the bourbon business?
No, they won't let me. Believe me, I have tried.
Because of your last name.
I can't even afford it, so.
Well, a bottle of that stuff can cost you $3,000 or $4,000, so I just wondered. Oh, really?
Well, the
Okay.
security, there's nothing we can do at this
Let's
time.
move on. Out of
It's
order.
going to be a
Out of
future
order.
problem.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Judith Richards, please.
Yeah, a bottle of that Van Winkle costs over.
Judith? Oh, okay.
She's got a dog.
Oh.
And he does love me.
All right.
Okay. Pretty much, most of us has
State your
been.
name and, your
Oh, I'm
address,
sorry. Judith Richards. I live at 21751 King Henry Avenue. I am one of the houses that is within the 200 feet of these houses. My friend actually lives across the street from the big lot that is very beautiful. Okay, one of my concerns is, of course, the traffic, because Highway 27, you would not believe, when you're on Monarch Drive and the light turns green, do not go. There have been terrible accidents because the cars that are going north and south don't stop. It's our only way, both in and out. We really should have another road in case of hurricanes or something terrible happening, but that's bad planning for our community. I worry about Commerce Drive is actually like a dirt road practically. There is some blacktop there, but it has to seriously be built up. It's like a little country road. I worry about on the construction, it's really going to tear up the only road we have. So I worry about that. The utilities, everybody has brought up, it is maxed out. We have 1,500 homes. And I also live around that area when the water is, there's some awful smells come out of there sometimes, okay? Noise. I don't know if these people are realize how noisy it's going to be for this complex. Actually, they would be doing us a favor because they'd be a buffer for us. But I worry too because these rentals are going to be only rentals. In other words, nobody is going to be purchasing one of these townhomes. You would much rather have homes that are owned by the people that live in them. Is there going to be a management company that is going to be on site for these 48 homes? If there's a problem, who do we call? So that, I'd like to know that. Are they going to have a management that handles the rentals there?
We'll have the applicant address that when they get back up there.
Good. Okay. So anyway, yes, and my friend and I were neighbors and good friends, and we worked on a similar problem about 4 years ago. We had a developer that wanted to put in 32 homes.
That's
had
time.
Huh?
Time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, no, it's easier over here.
Karen Saug. Sorry if I butchered that.
No,
How do you pronounce your
you
last
got
name?
it perfect. Perfect.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so I'm Karen Salg. I live at 5607 Prince Andrew Court in Royal Highlands. And I am speaking on behalf of both my parents that live there and 2 blocks across the road, my aunt and my cousin live in another home. Okay. And they couldn't all be here due to care issues. So basically, everybody's touched on the subjects that are a concern
If you have
to
any
us.
questions that you may want to present, then the applicant
Yeah.
can answer some questions.
Well, the water pressure and the traffic are a big thing. We're worried about people making U-turns at that light there to get to their complex. And if they're not making a U-turn, they're going to come into our complex. They're going to go up the side road around the softball field. And from what I understand, that the developer doesn't want to pay to help pay for that road to take care of it. I walk my elderly parents on these roads. There's no sidewalks there. I'm going to be dodging traffic with all these people coming through to get to their development. They should, wait till DOT puts in an extra lane for them to turn or something, but I don't think it's right that they should come into our community and beat up our roads, especially if they're not going to help out and pay for it. The other thing is the fact that they're going to be rentals. Nobody's happy about that. Everybody knows that if people own their own home, they're going to take better care of it. And what's to guarantee that year-long rental, that their HOA or whoever's handled it's not going to say, a year down the line, okay, now we're going to do 6 months rentals or 3 month rentals. Why not just say, oh, if you have to build it, no rentals allowed, purchases only, just like the Hawthorne community in Leesburg. They don't allow rentals. You know, it's going to deteriorate the quality of life in our development. And I've only been down here a couple of years, and I've been visiting my parents for years before that, but I can tell you that up until about 6 months ago, I never had to wait at a light to turn into Monarch Boulevard. Now I have to wait 2 traffic lights back to where the interstate is, or whatever, in order to just turn into our own community. So,
Thank you.
okay, thanks.
Huh? It goes off. Or it did last time.
Did I do that? Fixed it.
All right. If the applicant will come back up and address some of the questions and answers and all that.
I'll do my best, sir. Well,
Before you get started, I know that road's a big concern, and that's something I'm going to personally try to, talk to the state about with all the development that is going on. They do traffic studies, and the roads have to be to a certain amount before we can even let them do it. But maybe those standards need to be readdressed, So, but whether it wins or loses, I'm going to look into that as well as the utilities. Sorry.
That's all right. Again, Tom Daly. It seems like there's a few general, and I'm going to try to summarize some of these. Regarding the water and the utilities and the pressure, we didn't know about that until the other night when we had our community meeting. And so naturally, we are going to be reaching out to your Public Works Department to kind of see what's going on. It's all city water and city sewer. They have the capacity, but if there's pressure issues and things like that, we're part of it, whether we're commercial, whether we're residential. With regards to...
We were unaware of that as well, so just be aware of that. I mean, the staff here didn't know that, so, because they're different departments and you don't get all the information, so. Anyway, sorry.
In regards to traffic, all I can say is that, well, a couple things. Number one, this was all part of the Royal Highlands PUD back in 1994, 2009, 2005. The traffic improvements that master developer had to do incorporated the commercial development that is on our site, the 49,500. When they submit big projects like that, they have to give traffic studies. They have to do all of that. So baked in to this overall project, the approvals, is the traffic from this particular property at a commercial traffic rate. We are reducing that traffic substantially, 49,000 square feet. The cars are coming in and out. I'm sorry you disagree, but traffic for commercial for 49,000 square feet is more than 48 townhomes, period.
Please don't be rude.
Yes.
What?
Do you mind?
Okay.
No, I just wanted to ask him while he's getting such a. So, do you know offhand how many cars per townhome? You said there's two.
Right. Well, according to they call it the Institute of Traffic Engineers, it's what they base their numbers on. This style of development will have 6 trips per day, 6.5 trips per day. Okay, that's per day. Yeah, well, 1 or 2, depending. Yeah. Now, in comparison, this is their figures. A single-family home has 10 trips per day. This is National Institute. This is what all of your traffic engineers base their numbers on.
Versus the commercial will have
a lot more. It depends on the use, but it's significantly more. Well, if not, it's not a successful commercial property.
Please be quiet.
So,
Go ahead.
how many square feet? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry?
How many square feet commercial were you saying?
It's approved for 49,500 square feet.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
Let's let him finish up, and then we'll ask our questions.
Sure.
That way we can keep the flow going.
You know, relative to, I'm just trying to see, because most of them were traffic. Regarding the road and the access and all that, I think I mentioned to you that there is an agreement that the master developer placed over the Royal Commerce and Monarch Boulevard. That's the main entrance by the road. That agreement was done in 2000, I want to say 5 or 9. I think maybe it was 9. So it's been in place for 20 years. And it granted the access to this property and the property that they had before, which was now converted to the softball fields, access over these roads. The issue of maintenance did come up at the community meeting. You're driving on our road, you know, because these are all private roads. They're not public roads. And so, you know, we are going to begin discussions with the HOA board about fine-tuning that agreement. We do not mind paying for the maintenance of those roads on a proportional share, meaning we got 1,500 homes that are using it versus 48. So that's about 4%, the 48, of the 1,500. So as we move forward, we're more than willing to go ahead and participate in the maintenance of the road because, you know, our folks are driving on it too. But it'll be relative to the overall traffic and the overall impact. And we are in discussions, or we're going to go into discussions soon with the board about fine-tuning that access agreement and placing, you know, possible restrictions, you know, or financial commitments for it. We're not trying for a free ride, even though by our agreements we have a free ride, but we understand. There was a comment relative to the stormwater pond. As you can see, it's on the other side of this big berm. It's currently being used. It was designed to handle residential development that's on this 7.5 acres. Now, our engineers are meeting with St. John's Water Management District. They're going through all the permits and calculations, and these are 20-year-old permits and calculations. But we're going through it to confirm that what we're putting on here is going to be able to be handled by that pond. If not, then there's going to have to be enhancements to that pond to get the water up. If it's commercial and all the pavement on that, you can guarantee you that pond's going to have to get bigger and reconfigured. Regarding the maintenance of that pond, since I'm on the pond, we heard very clearly that we need to, what do I say? Barricade, for lack of a better word, the folks that are moving into this community from the folks that are currently living there. And we are not part of the Royal Highland community at all. They have a gate. We don't have access to it. They have amazing amenities. We don't have access to any of that. We are not going to be part of their HOA. But we understand that there needs to be some security, even though right now it's just an open field with a berm. Anybody can walk in. But we recognize that placing residents there could cause, you know, people coming over or whatever. So we're committed to working again with their board to say, okay, how can we best keep folks from, to separate the two? When we do that, we're going to be separating this community from that retention pond and all that open space, all right? As a way of, you know, protecting the privacy of these folks. So relative to the maintenance of it, now we're fencing ourselves off. We're not going to be part of it, but maintaining the grass around it and the pond, you know. But those are things we're going to work out with the board. Because again, right now, the HOA has an easement over that pond. We own it. And so we'd like to clarify a lot of things with that. They've got irrigation, they're maintaining the grass, and they've been doing that for years, right, since they developed. But anyway, regarding the rental component of it, we did commit at the community meeting, and I'll commit here tonight, that there'll be no short-term rental, and that's less than 6 months. Are we done? Can you let me talk, please? We made a commitment that it would be a.
You stick to what you do.
I'm sorry?
I'll control the crowd. You stick what you do.
Okay, I'll face this way. Thank you. But we did say that we would have a minimum 1-year rental, so that we don't have short-term rentals on the property. I think that's pretty much the highlights of what. There was a question about the management on site. The size of this community doesn't warrant having someone sitting there in an office. It will be managed, of course, and it will be, there will be a property association and a property management company, but there won't be anybody coming there 9 to 5 and being on it. At 48 homes, it's just not big enough to support that kind of amenity. The rest, relative, there's problems on 27, and those problems are going to get bigger, but that's bigger than all of us, You're right. The DOT does need to address this, and they are doing things north of here, but not here yet. And so we recognize it, but we don't think we're the cause of that, and we're not exasperating the problem. At 48 homes versus 1,500 homes, the downgrade from commercial, 49,500 square feet of commercial, to 49 townhomes. We think we're lessening the impact. We think we're more compatible than a commercial shopping center. We are not part of this community, meaning we're not going to be part of their HOA. We're not going to be, have the rights to utilize their amenities. But it's a great location. It's a great area, and we think it's going to be very successful. And so with that, I'll answer any further questions you have, sir.
Any questions from the commission?
Yeah. Okay. My question is, you keep saying 48 homes. You've got 8 homes, 20 feet wide. That's 160 feet for 8 homes. And you consider that low density?
Yeah.
The city can.
Yeah, we would be allowed to go 8 units an acre based on the future land use. We've capped it at 7 units an acre. The term, like
He
Dan.
didn't make the ordinance. We made that. That's our ordinance, not his.
No, and the acronym low density, that's a city term, not our term.
Okay. Taking away, let's say, the Greenbelt area, minus your 2 spots per house, 96 cars, basically. You don't think there's going to be a problem there?
No, sir.
Okay, no questions.
Any other questions?
Obviously, 27 is going to be 6-lane one of these days.
Yep.
How much setbacks do you have off the right-of-way on that?
We're required to have a 50-foot setback from the right-of-way.
50 feet from
Yes,
the
sir.
curb?
From the right-of-way.
From the right-of-way.
That's part of the overall approvals that we have.
How far would that put those homes from the pavement?
Oh, probably about 100 feet at least, We plan on putting a berm up along there to screen it out. And, when you're talking about the widening, it's a pretty wide median that they have, that grass median. And my guess is the DOT will be encroaching into the middle.
That's a safety aspect too, though.
Right, instead of going out. Well, I know, but, my experience.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? I have a question. Now, there was a question about the maintaining of the pond. You said, you're going to take care of the grass, but are you maintaining the pond, or are they?
Well, right now they are, and they have been. with part of the discussions that we have with the board, when we're talking about participating in maintenance of those roads, will include that.
You will?
Well, it'll include, the discussions will include the maintenance of the pond. But we haven't gotten that far with the board yet on, because there's drainage pipes that are going from that pond to another pond to another pond to the wetlands. So it's an interconnected system.
Okay. Any others?
Yes, Chairman, you mentioned that you were going to barricade, so to speak, between you and the Highland Lakes community. Is that a fence, berm?
Well, the berm is already there, and that berm is tall, okay? I wish I would have stopped there when I went to the community meeting and measured it, but it's, 8-10 foot tall. It's pretty high. So what we were asked to look at was the gaps at the ends to see if we can put fencing up for that, just to keep pedestrians from coming back and forth.
Security issue.
Yeah, we understand that, We may try to see if we can extend the berm out further. We haven't studied that, but we are committed to securing the two property boundaries. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Any others? All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
We're going to close to the public, and Commission will discuss it. I do have a couple questions for Dan. One would be the maintenance of the retention pond. Can we require that? It might be a legal question, I don't know.
It might be a legal question. I can tell you that if this whole thing goes all the way through the system and gets approved, they will have to go back to the original calculations for when Royal Highlands PUD came in. Pull those out, look at those. In addition, between 94, 95, 97, that time period, plus the changes in 2005, there have probably been, and I'm not an expert on that part, but there have probably been changes in the code. I know there have been changes to St. Johns River Water Management District, FDEP, upgrades in the legal requirements. Anything they do will have to be to current standards, not the 20-year-old standards. I mean, they'll have to look at the old design, but it will have to be brought up. There are specific standards such as 24-hour, 48-hour, 72-hour storm events, they're called, and the modeling that is done will prove or disprove that a pond can take, and I'm not an engineer, Bill, so forgive me, you guys, but that will prove or disprove that the pond can take the design runoff, okay? So, and that happens on every development in the city and has been successful on those. But it is a state statute. It's not just a local city law. It's a state law that they have to meet in terms of runoff. As to who maintains it, comes down to ownership. And if they are using it, they'll have to contribute in some way, I'm sure.
Okay. I have one other question, and it's another maybe legal one. All their studies were done 20 years ago, 25 years ago, whenever it was. Can we require a traffic study to be done because of all the growth on the highway?
They are required to go by the Metropolitan Planning Organization methodologies. Every new development has to pull those out. The MPO is the traffic planning organization for Lake and Sumter County, called Lake Sumter MPO. Mm-hmm. They have a set of methodologies that's online at their website. They have to pull those down and go by those requirements.
Even
and there
if it's
are
already been
tier
approved
1, tier 2, tier
20 years
3.
ago.
If it's approved 20 years ago, you have.
Okay.
I think we let a traffic study go maybe, I forget if it's a year or 18 months before you have to redo it. And that is because different things happen and the traffic can change.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? You got one? Okay. I love that smile. Go ahead.
I didn't want to make you upset.
No, I don't get upset.
Okay, y'all ready?
Dan. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so first of all, I first want to just make mention that I'm an Army brat. Most of my life, my family was on the road. We lived different places. My father proudly served this country, and 9 times out of 10, my family rented. That was just the nature of the beast. So I feel like there's some misconstrued notions about people who rent. And there's a number of different reasons why people rent. And properly and carefully managed communities that are rental communities, if managed well, will get out any dissents that people don't want living there. And most people who want to live that kind of life, they don't look for a property managed community, because you're going to pay for property management. You're going to pay to be watched. And so we need to understand that. And so I feel like although someone has to rent, they cannot afford to buy a home, especially in today's climate. It doesn't make them any less or lesser of a community, a citizen in this community. And I know we've gotten, we have this way of living that we think that there's one house on one piece of property, and that's how everybody should live in a particular area. The one thing that I like about Leesburg City Growth Plan is that we, and this happened as a city, so when I say we, I don't just mean this commission, I mean this was done with the city and its residents, that we said we understand that people are going to live in what we feel like is less traditional housing, and we all agree that everybody has a right to live the way they want to live. Some people want to live in an apartment, some people want to live in a condo, and some people want a house with a whole bunch of land. And everybody has that right to live there. And so we, part of, I believe, as sitting on this commission, our goal is to make sure that when someone comes with what we feel that is less traditional, that we as a commission, we can get in and say, okay, if you want to be in this community with the people that already exist there, how can we plan this to be as harmonious as possible, because they need to live there, and they're going to live a little differently than what we're accustomed to. And it doesn't make them any less, excuse me if I get choked up because it really hurt my feelings. It doesn't make them any less of a citizen. Their contribution isn't less because they can't afford a home.
Yes, ma'am.
And so what I believe that we should do as a community is that we need to make sure that these developments are planned accordingly and that they will still harmonize with what we got going on. So that's the first thing I wanted to say. Traffic, that's and Jennifer, if I ever, straighten me. We don't control it. We can't control it because that's county and state. And like you just mentioned, that these traffic studies are done almost biannually, so they're going to have to make considerations for the traffic regardless. That's going to have to happen. I was trying to make sense of the traffic study, and so, of course, I know Google, et cetera, they can all be wrong, but I was kind of rough putting the numbers in, and so I'm trying to understand that, yes, this piece of property, it can be considered for commercial development, and so I kind of put in, when I was entering the numbers looking for statistics, the turnover for a commercial development of that size can vary, whether it's an office space or a restaurant. And so, but roughly I got, and this is per 25 parking spots, which a commercial development of that size would need almost 100 spots, they would see 5 to 10 trips. This is per 25. So you do the math on that. So with you doing it, and anybody can say what they want to say, facts are facts, period. I looked it up. I'm not going to sit here. We're not going to do hearsay. I looked it up. And so that's a rough guesstimate of what's going on. So that's why I wanted to know how many homes, how many cars. We got to be fair to what's really going on. So there's going to be a significant amount of trips Plus, you don't necessarily control, like you said, you don't know what's going to go in that.
It's based on use.
And
so
so
mix
if
of uses can change that.
if they decide to put a 7-Eleven in there, we can't control who has the 7-Eleven. So anybody who wants to go in there can go in and out the parking lot. And then they are not subject to a harmonious balance. They can just put the building up there and whoever's in the back is just in the back. So you haven't heard a lot of it tonight. I applaud you on the brim and wanting to barricade yourself, your good faith efforts, how short or tall they may be. So that was another point. Dan, I also wanted to say, is there a way that we can contact the City Public Works and maybe the commissioner who's responsible for this area? Maybe they should be talking to the commissioner who's responsible to do some kind of workshop or something so they can address as a community the water issue down there. Although we know if this comes in there, they're definitely going to have to.
Well, I would hate to be the public works director tomorrow morning because he's going to hear from me, he's going to hear from Tim,
Yes,
he's going
and
to hear from a lot of people.
yeah, and I think they should also get with their. Who is the
based
commissioner for down there?
Well,
That's not a commissioner.
it's really
It's
not
not.
a commissioner because that development is in Lake County, but it gets Leesburg water and wastewater.
Right.
What we were concerned about is with these numerous comments about the water, which we can't do anything about tonight, but certainly I promise tomorrow morning I'll be over to Cliff's office and making sure that he's aware of it. And one person brought up that she got transferred to someone she thought was the director. It might have been him, I don't know. But I want to go in with a fresh tomorrow morning and say, look, you need to watch the meeting, go
Yeah,
on
that
YouTube,
there's some
watch the meeting
issues.
because people have concerns. And
Yeah,
we
this
don't
is
know.
being videoed, so we'll make sure they watch it.
Yeah, we want to do that.
I can attest, I get no special privileges. I myself had, you can vouch to it, had public works issues. And I had this issue for some years and it just got handled. So patience is a virtue and it's government. That's just not because they want it bad. It's just, that's how we made it. But I think that was that. I just wanted, you know me, make it make sense and make it make sense to the people.
If I may real quickly, the city cannot say that a development has to be 55 or age restricted.
Yeah,
We
we
can't
can't
say
do
that.
that.
We can't say that they can be rentals or they have to be rentals. We legally, we can't touch that.
Right.
But, so I understand their concerns and also understand what you're saying is that, not everyone who rents is a
a
bad
dissonant,
person.
yeah,
Obviously
right.
not.
Mhm.
And we've all rented.
Well, that was
So, but anyway, we will be contacting Cliff tomorrow morning.
I appreciate the time, but yeah, my comments are based off of what I heard. So
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you. Anything else?
Can I say one thing?
No, ma'am. We're closed to, sorry. We're closing, and any other discussion, we'll close for a vote on public hearing case number SSCP 25640 Rural Highlands Small Scale Comprehensive Plan Amendment. Is there a motion?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Okay, is there a second? No second? Guys, the last of a second.
Can I make a motion?
Yes, you may.
I'd like to make a motion to reject the SP, got my paper on top of it, SCP 25640.
Okay. Is there a second?
I gotta do something. Don't we gotta do something?
Well, we just,
You can make a motion with recommendations as well. So if there's something about the project that you would like to see, or something that you don't necessarily like, you can make a recommendation.
Yeah. Okay, I recommend that the houses, or that property, that development, conform with the neighboring development as such on King Henry Avenue.
So you're recommending approval, however, you want it to be single-family and consistent with the surrounding
Consistent with the surrounding areas, yes.
I'm not sure how that's gonna be measured. I mean, that's a
Can't
little.
do it.
It's not really the
Ominous.
item that is being requested, it's really a denial.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
It's not the request that's being proposed by the applicant, so I would say that would be a request for denial.
Right.
Is there a second to that?
No.
I can't vote, or I can't.
Start with the first motion again. I'll second.
Okay, it's died from a lack of a second.
Mr. Chair, once again, I would like to make a motion to approve public hearing case number SSCP 25-640.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion on the motion? Okay. This is a first for me, guys. Roll call.
Commissioner Sanders.
Yes.
Commissioner Bauer-Fox.
Yes.
Chairman Senate.
Yes.
Commissioner Carter.
What was the vote?
I haven't opened my mouth.
Oh, okay. I thought you nodded.
I didn't say anything. I just don't want to be here. No.
Commissioner Kaplan.
No.
Commissioner Simeon.
No.
We're dead because it's 6 of us.
Yep.
We got to vote again.
It's fine, we can bring that forward. You're a recommending body, and so it'll still go before the commission.
So the vote was 3-3. It's going to the commission, so please remember those dates. I'll say them again. What was it, September 8th and October?
We also need a motion for the second item.
Oh, shoot, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
And we need to do the minutes.
Getting anxious here. Okay, I gotta find that one because I didn't get an agenda on paper here. Okay, on public hearing case number SPUD 25-642, Royal Highlands, small planned unit development. Is there a motion?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Commissioner Carter.
Nope.
Commissioner Kaplan.
No.
Commissioner Bauer-Fox.
Yes.
Commissioner Sanders.
Yes.
Commissioner Simeon.
No.
Chairman Senate.
Yes. Okay, so where I was before. September 8th and October 13th. It's at 5:30 here, so, make sure you come. It'll be brought up and maybe some discussion the first one. The second meeting is when they vote, so make sure you're there for that one. On a side note, kind of a political side note, there's some political folks out there that are trying to do away with HOAs. I just saw that on the news yesterday. So you want to keep an eye on that, because if you got a nice community, it's probably because you got an HOA. Some people don't like them because they're not used to being told what to do and all that, but that's what keeps quality.
Mr. Chairman, is that going through the legislature? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I can't remember who it was. Somebody in Miami brought it up. One of the legislators down in Miami brought it up. Just keep an eye open. I just wanted to. I don't have an HOA in mind, but. Yeah.
I got an HOA.
Thank you very much. I
The
appreciate your patience.
We still got one more, then we do this.
Right. I'm just letting them get out. Sure. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it's closed.
I have an outside water moving places before when you
Oh, okay.
Well, let me ask
Personally, I addressed that in my remarks, but I would just want to clarify, that was not just a statement about renters per se. My concern is about short-term rentals, where people come and go, like almost like a verb type of thing.
I don't know what the email address.
We have about 48 renters in our community.
I recommend you sending that to the water department. I don't know what the email address is, but you can probably get it from Dan. I don't have it.
We've had a lot of long-term.
What's your filter?
10 years, 12 years.
Sorry about your name. I wasn't even going to try.
We don't have to, we don't do that, unfortunately.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I understand. I understand. There's always exceptions to
I
the
appreciate y'all
rules.
coming.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I hope I can answer. Tim. There was 5 on that one, but if someone doesn't show up, it could happen.
So what they do is tie here, tie there.
It gets denied.
Yeah,
If
it died.
it doesn't matter what happens here.
Yeah, you gotta
It
have.
doesn't matter what happens here. It's that second meeting. Yeah, and if it's a 2-2, it's died.
So we're done with it. It's straight up, so if it's denied tonight, it doesn't really.
It doesn't matter. But the second meeting's the important one. First one, all they're gonna do is basically present it, and that'll be it. I mean, there won't even be much discussion. Second one will be the big one.
It's the clay in the water.
I appreciate your patience. Thank you.
Tim, I want to go home.
It's thrown out.
Yeah, you gotta have a majority of the women. So a tie. A tie.
Commissioner's tied, gone.
Yeah. So it's gonna go to the commission. They'll say it was 3-3, but it'll be basically
But they gotta be careful because you can't just deny somebody.
It's too many questions. Yeah, but what they don't want now, what they don't want is commercial stuff to come in.
That's what I don't think y'all people understand about annex.
Yeah, no, that was good. That was good. Yeah, you did well.
160 feet.
I know what you're saying.
20-foot hole, come on.
Yeah.
All right, let's finish this up. Yeah.
This will go quick.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay.
No,
I'm doing that at the end.
Oh, we still got stuff to do?
Yeah.
We got a third one.
Where?
Someone didn't read their packet.
I did, but I just got one.
Okay. Yeah, you got teary-eyed over there.
Oh, yeah, plus mine.
Hang on, I'm gonna get down to that. I gotta get there anyway.
So you want to approve this one?
Okay, guys. New business number 3, public hearing case number RZ 25-638, 937 East Main, Malone, rezoning.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The background of this project is solely a straight rezoning on a site consisting of .4 plus or minus developed acres. The property is generally located on the south side of East Main Street and west of East Cloud Street, I believe. The request is simply to clean up the zoning to be consistent with the zoning in the area. Again, .4 acres, the zoning application for the project would take the current zoning, which is R2, and turn that into C3, which is essentially surrounded by, and you'll see that in a moment. Deputy Director Candy Harper will present the maps and photo exhibits at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. On the screen before you is the extended locator showing the site relative to the streets. This is actually required by the legislature. We have to show cross streets where you can find this. So this aerial is a little bit closer, closer detail of the site. The zoning is currently R2, surrounded by commercial. The proposed zoning is commercial. The future land use is currently commercial. Surrounding land uses are government offices, vacant commercial, commercial to the east, residential to the south, and west. There are developments around this site to the north, east, and south. There are no flood zones or wetlands on the site, so that's good news. This is in the greater Leesburg Community Redevelopment Area, and it is in Commission District 1. The picture at the top is a close-up of the sign from East Main Street. The picture on the bottom is looking north across East Main Street from the subject property. A picture on the top is looking east along East Main Street from the subject property. And the picture on the bottom is looking south onto the subject property from East Main Street. Property on the top is looking west along East Main Street from the subject property. I believe that's all I have, Mr. Miller.
Well, thank you, Mrs. Harper. With that, we move to the departmental review summary. Project was sent out to City of Leesburg departments, Lake County departments, and local school board. There were no responses from the city departments, no substantive comments. In other words, school board, because it's a single-family house, it is not subject to school concurrency review. It's an existing house. Lake County Public Works had no comments. The project was legally advertised, posted, and letters were sent out per Florida statute and City of Leesburg requirements. No comments were received. This project, Mr. Chairman, will simply clean up the zoning map as staff considers the current zoning to be what we call a spot zoning. And if you look at your future, at your zoning map, you'll understand immediately when you see the picture. It's simply surrounded, you've got a residential zoning surrounded by commercial. That's a spot zoning. I don't know where it came from. We're trying to correct that. Under case number RZ 25638, for the recommendations, Planning Zoning Department is recommending approval of the request for the following reasons. One, the proposed request for the C3 highway commercial zoning is compatible with the current surrounding zoning districts of Leesburg, SPUD, C3, and R3. Two, the current future land use designation of general commercial is compatible with the existing surrounding future land use designations of industrial, general commercial, and high-density residential. Three, the proposed request will allow for a spot zoning correction for the property that is consistent with the ongoing development patterns within the city of Leesburg. Four, the proposed request does not appear to create a detriment to surrounding properties based on the proximity to Main Street and other properties. The action requested is vote to approve the proposed rezoning from City of Leesburg R2 medium density residential to City of Leesburg C3 highway commercial, and forward to allow for the correction of a spot zoning, and forward this recommendation to the City Commission for their consideration. Mr. Chairman, Mr. Al Malone, the homeowner, is here. If you have any questions, other than that, it's pretty straightforward.
The only question I have is, what about the comp plan?
The comp plan under there is general commercial right now.
Okay.
So that's why
I missed that.
I don't know how it got to be R2, but it must have happened years ago. I do not know.
Okay. Any other questions of staff?
What's going on that piece of property?
It was a house. A couple of houses have been built in that area. C3 highway commercial does allow single-family residential houses in it, and somehow this property got to be an R2 zoning. I don't know how, because it must have been there for many years. So when we saw it and we talked to Mr. Malone, we said, can we just rezone it? Are you okay with rezoning? He said, sure, as the owner, because what we want to avoid is these spot zonings where you have residential surrounded by commercial and industrial and those kind of things.
So staff initiated it?
It's more or less staff initiated, and I know Mr. Malone, so he was happy to come along.
So is it going to remain a residence, or is it going to be a
It will
business?
remain a residence for as long as Mr. Malone wants it to remain a residence. Then it could become, it could remain a residence if he sells it. It could become an office. It could become retail. It could become a number of things. So it really just opens up, instead of just being a residence. And there's next door residents in that area that are zone C3.
Right.
So it doesn't, from a zoning standpoint, this is the kind of thing that grabs a planner's eye and they can't get their,
Okay.
they get the jazzy hands,
Thanks.
yeah.
Any other questions of staff? You smiled, do you have one? Is there anything you want to add, or they covered?
For 9 years, never had any complaints.
Okay.
So
Cool.
I just want to be in
But
sync with everything else that's going on.
If you say too much, we need to get you up to the mic.
You're fine.
Okay. I'm just trying to make it official. Okay, we'll close to the public and discussion and render a decision. Done?
Mr. Chairman, if you would like, I could make a motion on this.
Oh, that would be lovely.
Okay. I gotta read it. RZ 25638, I recommend approval.
I second.
Any discussion on the motion? Roll call.
Commissioner Simeon,
Yes.
Chairman Senate,
Yes.
Commissioner Sanders,
Yes.
Commissioner Carter,
Yes.
Commissioner Bowersox,
Yes.
Commissioner Kaplan.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing a simple thing to us.
And now I need,
I'm hoping it'll go pretty quick.
I need to back up, I guess, laying around for the last month and a half, I wasn't warmed up yet, so we need to approve the minutes.
Just
Everybody's
excited
had an
about that
opportunity to
agenda.
read the minutes. Is there any additions, corrections, or deletions? If not, I'll accept the motion to approve.
I made a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
I'll third it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you, and I apologize for that.
No worries.
I got some.
I'll try not to.
Don't ever let it happen again.
Mr. Chairman, Stewart, Mr. Ted, and I believe it was John, terms are coming to an end September 30th. If you want to be with us, please turn in your applications. We know you guys have some tough decisions to make, but I do want to state that this has been an excellent commission to be around and to be with and to work with as a planner.
You said that to me back in the...
I say it all the time.
25, 30 years ago when I was on here.
But I appreciate everyone here.
$30 a meeting instead of 25.
I'll do my best. But we love to keep everybody around. That's not any, I have no input on the decision. We have to put your names up there and you show up for the meeting. So if you would like to, I'd appreciate a call. I do have Z's application.
I thought I had another year, but you're wrong. You're
It's
right.
either you or John.
We'll check in.
I know it's John.
We'll double
Call him
check.
tomorrow and find out.
So maybe it was
Committee.
Z.
Committee.
Got it. But I have yours.
See, I know how to run a meeting.
You coming back? You coming back, Z?
Yes, sir.
Come on back.
Is this Commissioner Kaplan's last night?
No, sir, next month.
Okay. So, today, it's August. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we got one
I
more.
was going to give you a standing ovation.
Maybe a hug.
Well, you can do it anyway.
Well, next month.
Give a big hug.
Give you something to look forward to.
All right, everybody, I appreciate your patience and your help.
Want to go away for it.
This meeting's adjourned.
Thanks, everybody.
Please keep in mind about that HOA thing I said. That's a big, big deal to me. I mean, I heard that and my jaw hit the floor.
The